نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعلني وزيرا من أهلي اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير اللهم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. We did ayah 14 till ayah 14 and we have to do ayah number 15 now. So, no, we did ayah 15 as well. So ayah 15 was Allahu yastahzi'u bihim wa yamudduhum fi tughyanihim ya'mahun. So how do Allah mock them? Let's go on this one. How do Allah mock them? Allah mock them by making their transgression or by making them wander blindly in their transgression and prolonging that period as well. It is that before they get the punishment, they will keep on living in this world of their own transgression. So this is how Allah is mocking them, that they won't be able to get or they can perceive the guidance basically. Next ayah is ayah number 16. Ulaika allazina. These are the people who ishtarabu, they purchase ad-dalalata, the misguidance, bil huda, for guidance. So these are the people who have purchased misguidance in exchange of guidance. So whenever Allah used the word purchase for these intangible words, it means that prioritizes. Okay, the purchase over here means prioritize. So these people are the ones who has prioritized, who has preferred misguidance over guidance. It means that it is their own choice. They have made their own choice. Why? Because the misguidance, according to them, it had more benefits. But whenever they would meet meaning, they would say that no, we believe as well. We believe just like you believe. We are not different than you. So this is what they would do when they would meet the believers. It means that whenever they would see benefit on the other side, they would join hands with them. Fama rabihat. So there, fama rabihat. Was at loss or was not profited. Tijaratuhum, their trade, wama, and they were not. Kanu muhtadin, and they were not guided. So their trade or their transaction has brought no profit. Fama rabihat. Fa, then ma, not. Rabihat, profited. So did not their trade did not profit them, and they were not guided. It means that in the hereafter, they are still at loss. So what they're trying to do in the world is that they're trying to get benefit from all the sides, but in the hereafter, they are still at loss. Whatever their preferences are, whatever their trade is in this world, it is giving them no profit and they will not be guided. They are not guided and they will not be guided. So when they're not getting the guidance and they are into misguidance, then that is their loss. The next ayah is all of these are basically talking, all of these ayahs are talking about hypocrites and explaining their characteristics. So this is also a trait that they prefer misguidance over guidance. This is one of their traits. Okay. Number 17. So ayah 17 is now giving an example. Ayah 17, 18, and 19. These three ayahs, they are giving examples. Um, they are explaining the situation of hypocrites with the help of examples, right? So this is your first encounter of examples in the Quran Majid. So you need to understand what is this concept of examples, okay, in Quran. So Allah gives examples in the Quran. That is, in order to understand who hypocrites are, Allah compares them with something else. Okay. Example is given by comparing whatever concept we need to understand, comparing it with something else that we already understand. This is how examples are given in Quran Majid repeatedly. Okay. So this is the first time example is coming in Quran Majid. So this topic of hypocrites, it is so important. And Allah wants to fully disclose these people, expose these people, so that mu'mineen are saved from them. Allah is giving example as well, so that we understand them fully. Okay, the Sahaba understand them fully, and then we also understand these traits fully. So example is always given for the purpose of explanation and full understanding. Okay. And this is the sunnah of Allah, that Allah gives examples to make us understand. So if we give examples to make other people understand, like I gave examples of usually of parents or stuff like that to you guys. So that is basically the methodology that Allah uses in Quran. So masaluhum, their example, the masal is like the example allazi of the one who. So allazi is the singular of allazina. The last I had the word allazina. Most of the time allazina comes like those who, but sometimes allazi also comes when Allah is talking about a single person, the one who. Okay. So their example is like the example of that person who is tawqada, who kindled naran, fire, who kindled a fire. Okay. So their example means the examples of hypocrites is like the example of that one person who kindled a fire. Now you guys have to imagine it. Now you have to imagine the example, what is going in this particular scenario. Okay, you imagine a person who is holding a stick kind of thing, of a wooden stick that is thick, okay, and he has kindled fire over it, okay, on that stick. So he is holding it now. So when the stick is basically kindled with fire, then it is lightened, okay, and it is giving light now. This is how those people used to get lights. Also, they would burn those small things with oil as well, those lanterns. They would burn those lanterns with oil, and also they would burn the sticks, especially when they are traveling or they are in the jungles, etc. This is how they would get the light. So, this is what this person is doing, that he has some kind of stick, some kind of thing over which he has kindled a fire, right? So you have to imagine it. Falamma, then, adaat, it lighted. Adaat is from zoo, okay? Zoo or Zia. We also use this name Zia. Zia is light, roshni. Zoo is also light. So adaa is muzakkar, and adaat it's muannas, because nar is muannas. So falamma adaat, then when it is lighted, ma hawlahu, ma whatever or that, hawlahu is around them. So you guys need to put some extra effort on the examples to understand them. You need to give extra attention to the examples, okay? Always, whenever examples come in the Quran, you have to put extra attention towards them. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand them. Please remember that. Also, remember that whenever you will check tafasir, you might see different interpretations of different examples, okay? Sometimes the one book will be giving you some different interpretation, and the other book will be giving you another interpretation. But please remember that the outcome would be the same. Though interpretations can be different, but the what we are getting from those is what we are getting from those examples would always be same. The conclusion would be same always. Okay, these are few things that you guys have to remember. Also remember there are books written on this topic. The misal, the plural of misal is amsal. Okay, so amsalul Quran, books are written over amsalul Quran, that is examples of the Quran. And just by extracting examples from the Quran and uh, writing about them. Okay, this is how important this topic is. And also, as I said already, that to understand examples, this is a difficult job. This is not easy job, right? So, one second. Yes. Uh, Examples is a difficult job. It's not easy. That is why separate books have been written on these topics to understand them. And that is the reason also why interpretations are different in different books. Okay. Not always, but you will see if you there would come examples which are very difficult to understand. Those examples do have more than one type of interpretations, but conclusion is always the same. Also, Amsalul Quran, many people talk about them as well. If you guys watch Ramadan series of various people, of various speakers, Sheikh Yasir Qazi has done series over it, examples of the Quran. Even Naman Ali Khan has also done a series on it, only on the examples. There would be other speakers as well who has done complete series on these topics. Okay, on just the examples from Quran. So this is then the first example that we are talking about right now. So falamma, so you need to be extra attentive to understand them. This is why I'm telling you this. So do listen carefully. If you're not taking the notes, you should be taking notes when it comes to examples, okay? So the example of buckets is like the example of that one person who has kindled a fire, then when it lights, ma hawlahu, whatever is around him, or it lighted that is around him, it means that um, they when they lighted the stick with fire and it made his surroundings bright, that is that person is now taking benefit of the fire. Okay, and he is able to understand his surroundings more. He is able to look at the surroundings. He is able to observe them. He is able to take a lot of benefit from just from the fact that he has light in his hands, he has fire in his hands, and is able to see around him. Okay, so this is benefiting him. This first situation that you are imagining right now, it is benefiting these people, uh, uh, this person who has kindled a fire. Then what happens? Zahab Allahu, Allah took away binurihim, their light. Allah took away their light. Which light? The light that they kindled their sticks, and the sticks that they kindled a fire. That fire Allah took away. Just like the fact that I switch on electricity and I switch on my bulb and the bulb is working. Everywhere it is light. I can see around me. I can take the benefit. I can do whatever I want now because there is light in the room. But then the electricity goes away. Okay. It happens to us over here that in our countries, basically, that the electricity goes away, and then again I am helpless and I cannot do anything now. Okay, this is what exactly is happening in this ayah right now. Understand this modern analogy from this example of burning a fire. Okay, so Zahaballahu binurihim. Allah took away their electricity. Allah took away their light. وَتَرَكَهُمْ, and He left them fi zulumat. Zulumat is plural of zulmat. Zulmat is darkness. And He taraka, tark karna. We use it in Urdu as well. So, and He left them fi zulumatin, in the darkness. La, not. Yubasirun, from basara again. They see and they do not see. So Allah took away the electricity, or Allah took away the light or fire, and Allah left them in the darkness. Now they cannot see. Okay. So the first thing now you're supposed to do is that to imagine the example. You first understand the example with help of your own situation. That this is what we do with our bulbs or our light tubes, etc., tube lights, etc., etc., or lamps, etc. We switch them on, and then electricity goes, and everywhere there is darkness, and now we cannot see. But when there was light, we were able to see our surroundings. Okay. Similar is the example of this particular person is this ayah, that he kindled a fire and everything around him is now bright and lighted and he can see everything and it is benefiting him. But then Allah took away his light and he is now left in darkness and he cannot see. So now what we will, the third step that we are going to do now is compare hypocrites with this example. Because Allah said, Masaluhum kamasalil. Their example is like example of this person. So even if Allah wouldn't have said Masaluhum, okay, even then we were supposed to compare something with this ayah, some concept with this ayah, whatever concept we think that Allah is explaining us in this ayah, we would be comparing that with this ayah. Why I'm saying this? Because I already told you that there would come examples in Quran which has different interpretations. So this is the reason why they have different interpretations, because some people say that this ayah is talking about that concept. Some other people might say that no, this ayah is talking about the other concept. But as I said, you guys, these kind of differences in tafsir, they are not contradictory in nature to each other. Okay, they basically support each other, and ultimately the conclusion or the outcome is the same. So there, it's not a big deal. Okay. So now we are going to compare hypocrites with this one person. So what does hypocrites do basically? They these people also kindled a fire. It means that they lighted their hearts with the light of guidance. Okay. So they also kindled a fire, but that fire was the fire over here means light. So that is the light of the guidance, and that light of the guidance of Islam, which they accept earlier, when Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, they basically accepted Islam, right? And second Hijri or after that. So they kindled a fire. They accepted the guidance which lighted everything that was around them. So they were able, through that lens of guidance or in the light of guidance, using the light of guidance, they were able to understand everything more. They were able to make sense of everything more. They were, like, for example, they were able to understand why polytheism is not good, is not correct. They were able to understand the concept of angels more. That what are angels? What do they do? How do they do? What should we be doing with them? How should we be believing in them? Uh, etc. etc. So all the concepts they were getting clear in their mind, everything around them. And the guidance is basically everything in our life. Uh, we have already discussed the word guidance. So that guidance was when they accepted Islam, the light of Islam, It brightened everything around them. So they were taking benefit of it. Okay. But then what happened that Allah took away that light. Allah took away the light of guidance from their hearts. The guidance is compared with light many times in Quran as well. Allah has given the example of the example for guidance, the example of light for the concept of guidance. This example, it's repeated many times in Quran Majid. Okay, calling guidance as a Noor, right? Also, Quran Majid is also referred as this name, An-Noor. An-Noor is also another name of Quran Majid. So, Allah took away the light of guidance from them, from their hearts, and took away and left them in darkness of misguidance. Okay. Now, why did Allah do this to them? Similar as the reason is similar to what we already studied for kafirin. When Allah said that khatamallahu ala qulubihim, Allah sealed their hearts. So why would Allah seal their hearts, and why would Allah take these hypocrites guidance, light of guidance from them? Because they themselves did harm to themselves. They themselves filled their hearts with um, the disease of hypocrisy. Okay, like we studied earlier. What was the ayah? Fi qulubihim marad. Okay, in their hearts is the disease. So, what is that disease? That disease, the hypocrisy, that they are growing in their hearts, that they are taking care of in their hearts, that they are nourishing in their hearts. So, because of their own decisions, Allah Himself decided that they do not deserve the light of guidance. So, Allah took that away from them as a punishment. So watarakahum and he left them in the darkness of misguidance. So now when they are in the darkness of misguidance, they cannot see anything. They cannot make sense of a lot of things. They won't be able to understand a lot now. They won't be set their priorities right now. They won't be able to take right decisions now. Like for example, when Prophet ﷺ used to give a call to go to a certain battle, Sahaba would say, okay, fine, we are going, we are ready to go. They were always motivated to go. But the hypocrites, they would first discuss amongst them whether we should go or not. So many of them, if they see that the war is against people who are very brave, then they would never go. Okay, like in Khandak, and Munafiqin did not go, right? So they would always see where the benefit lies, and then they would take the decision accordingly. And that decision is misguided, right? Sahaba were guided, they took the right decision. The decision of the hypocrites was misguided. They were taking decisions in the darkness of the misguidance. So they are not getting any true benefit now. They might be getting benefit in this world, but they're at loss in the hereafter. So, in order to understand these people more, we can compare them with the example of this person who kindled a fire. I hope this ayah is clear. The next ayah is continuation of this ayah. It says, Summun, deaf, bukmun, dumb, or you can say mute. Bukmun basically means mute. Umjun, blind. So these people are deaf, mute, and blind. Now, since they are in the darkness and they cannot see, they are like as if they are deaf, mute, and blind. Okay, just like kafirin were not able to use their faculties of heart, ears, and eyes for their benefit, for to basically to absorb guidance and to or to receive guidance. Similar is the situation for these people now. These people are deaf, dumb, and blind towards guidance now. It means that their hearts are deaf, dumb, and blind. Okay, this is not happening physically, but this is a metaphor to understand their situation. So they used to live within Sahaba, and they used to see Prophet ﷺ around them, and they would hear ayahs from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Still, they wouldn't be able to make any sense of them. They wouldn't be able to take guidance from the ayahs, even when Prophet sallam are reciting them or explaining them. So their hearts are now deaf, mute, and blinded. And fahum, then they la not yarji'un, raja from raja, okay, ruju karna, that is to return. So they will not return to the right path. Means that not since their hearts are left up at time, no matter how much they're living with Prophet Sallallahu and they're taking that time, they might they would have faith. You guys cannot hear me. Okay. Yes, now. Yes, you can hear me now. One second. Yes, the sound is clear now. Okay, okay, good. I don't know why the mic stops moving within the presentation. Okay, so Summun Bukmun Umjan Fahum La Yarjiun, they will not be able to return. So how can they return to the right path when they cannot even look at the right path, when they cannot even see or hear anything about it, or they are dumb about it, they cannot talk about the right path, they cannot listen anything about the right path, they cannot look at the right path, then how would they return to it? So they are basically now completely misguided. Okay. And this is basically the verdict that Allah has given about them now. Were the hypocrites serious when they accepted Islam? Because if they weren't, why did Allah said? Allah say over here that they kindled a fire if they didn't accept the guidance wholeheartedly. Yes, so when Allah says they kindled a light, it doesn't basically imply that they accepted the Islam truthfully or they were their intention was already wrong from the very beginning. It doesn't basically imply any of this. It can be anything, okay? But what we get from Allah definitely knows the intentions. But the hypocrites, they would be all kind of people, okay? So there were hypocrites. I already told you hypocrisy is of two kinds. It can be in the creed and it can be in the actions. So there were hypocrites who were basically who accepted Islam just for the sake of it, just so that now Islam is the major religion in Medina and they can take benefit from Prophet ﷺ by accepting him as a leader. So whenever he would give Male Ganimat, these people would be able to receive it as well, etc., etc. So some of them hypocrites, they accepted Islam with this niyyah. So that is their intention is not right from the very beginning. There is hypocrisy in their akida, in their belief, okay, in their creed or in their theology. Then there were other hypocrites who accepted Islam rightly. They wanted to accept Islam, but then because of the influence of those other people, or because of the fact that they didn't want to make sacrifices for the sake of Islam, they decided that they would do only those things, only those assignments that which will benefit them, and they will not do those assignments which will basically make them lose something in dunya. Okay, so that is why they left Uhud. They did not go to Khandak, and they went only on few battles at which they knew that the other party, the enemy, is weak and they would be able to be victorious over them very easily. Okay, hopefully you understood what you asked, you understood the answer. So getting back to the ayah, Summun Bukmun Umyun Fahum La Yarjiun. So they will not be able to return. Why? Because it is their punishment now that they have to live in it. Okay. So these two ayahs together complete this one example, ayah number 17 and 18. If I get time, inshallah, I'll draw these examples as well and I'll send you the picture. Otherwise, hopefully, you guys have understood as this first example is not very difficult. But the second example, you need to understand more clearly now. There are two examples right over here, okay? The second example is in number 19 and 20, right? So, starting with it, number 19 says, I think we should only read its translation and I'll explain it to you in the next class so that you do not forget it. As I said, the example in 19 and 20 is a little bit difficult than the example in 17 and 18. So what is the ayah? The ayah says, Aw or ka like sayyib, like a rainstorm, or like a rainstorm, minas samai, from the skies. Fihi, in it are zulumatun, the darkness. So when heavy rainstorm storm falls from the sky, it always comes with darkness. Okay, so there is darkness in this rainstorm, and then waradun, and there is, yeah, it is a difficult. This example is difficult one. Inshallah, I'll explain it to you clearly, and you would be able to understand fully, inshallah. So waradun and thunder. Wabarkun and lightning. So whenever rainstorm, now you guys have to imagine the rainstorm first. Instead of thinking that what does this ayah mean? How does hypocrites compare to this ayah? This is not the first step. The first step is that you build the scene in your mind, okay? You have to understand the scenario in your mind first. So imagine that there is rainstorm right now and the rainstorm is very heavy and you can see darkness all around you because of it now, and there is thunder and there is lightning. So I hope the scene is clear in your minds. Okay, then what happens? Yaj'aluna, they put asabi'ahum, their fingers, fi adanihim, in their ears. So they put fingers into their ears. Why? Because it's thunder and lightning around them. Because of heavy thunder, they want to protect themselves from thunder, or they want to protect themselves from sound of thunder. That is why what would they do? They would put fingers in their ears. This is an example, okay? This is metaphor. So just understand the scene for now. We will compare it with hypocrites later in second class, okay? So that you do not forget it. So they have placed fingers in their ears, minas sawa'iq, against the thunderclaps. It means that because of the thunderclaps, or because of the sound of the thunderclaps, to avoid it, they are putting fingers in their ears. Hazaral mouth, for the fear of death. So, since they are fearing the death, they want to protect themselves as much as they can. They would put fingers in the ears, and they would think that now the thunderclaps or the lightning, it won't be able to kill them. So they are fearful of their death as well because of the heavy rainstorm, and they are trying to save themselves. This is what the situation is right now. Wallahu, and Allah, muhitum, is encompassing bil kafirin, the disbelievers. And Allah is encompassing the disbelievers. So basically, this ayah is to understand these people hypocrites, and these hypocrites are called as kafirin over here. Okay, according to Tafsir, hypocrites are mentioned as kafirin in this ayah. Can you guys hear me? And so we are now clear that these people were not the people of belief. Rather, these people were the people of disbelief. Okay, so the hypocrites are kafirin, and Allah has encompassed them. What does this whole ayah mean? Inshallah, I'll explain it to you in the next class because 3 minutes won't be enough to understand both of these ayahs. And as I said that these two ayahs are a little bit difficult as compared to some easy examples in Quran. But inshallah, I'll explain it to you in a way that you will be able to make sense out of it. Okay. So in the next class, inshallah. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.